Winners bracket. And the winner of this series, they're currently 1-1 in maps, it's first to 2 maps. And our final map, we have Agent up a single round in a 3 out of 5 setting. So Agent needs 2 more rounds to qualify for the Quake World Championship finals at QuakeCon in a few weeks' time, and Toxic needs to bring this one back. Toxic made a full comeback before. Whether we'll see him do it again, we will find out very, very soon, but it is very much make or break to the nth degree.
Well, really, Toxic on Ruins, and that was his map too. He was on the absolute brink of defeat. He was this close from going out. But we are going to restart this. It's going to be the Blood Covenant. Agent, once again, is up 1 round. Toxic needs to win 3. Agent needs to win 2.
Now already Toxic starting off with Slash, getting that Quake 4 mobility for a Quake 4 legend. Not too surprising at all to see him basically rest his final map chances on this champion. Definitely seems to be his most confident so far in Agent on this Nyx, has been nigh unstoppable.
But it's like ZSX mentioned, it's just that the ability that Slash has to reach the very core power-ups so much faster than everyone else.
But that really is a big... Oh no, misses a jump, that's unfortunate, but Toxic. When Toxic gets himself a rail, that's where he really becomes a dangerous force to be reckoned with.
He's the top
accuracy can be just incredible.
The Toxic that we know. He's got that rail in hand and he's just landing it over and over again. And we've seen so far so consistently Slash is that direct answer to Nyx. At least in this matchup, Agent using Nyx first has been such a dangerous playstyle that's worked wonders for him. And we were talking about this as well. I feel like Agent has gone Visor as well because of the health difference. Like Visor now, in this version of Quake Champions, has more health than Clutch.
In terms of just like numbers, for sure, you know, the armor values might be quite dramatically different, but fundamentally, if you just like that health value, Visor does have a little bit more than Clutch now, but that Plasma Trail is popped by Toxic. You can see the explosions. Just that area denial, if anything, means it's quite hard to chase Slash onto those power-ups.
Meeting him on the bridge, expecting, but Tox actually choosing to double back instead, but Agent's heard him. That rocket hurt. The second one missed, hits the door frame, so he's not going to get the second hit.
Oh, the Ghost Walk is popped. Using it aggressively, they know they've traded ability for ability.
That was actually a complete trade, but no one really got anything off that with the exception of Toxic using the speed boost to get away. He has got the Mega now, though. We've seen a trade once more. Heavy armor for Mega health. Definitely see that a lot throughout this round, I think.
Oh wow, he had quite a lot of damage there, lost most of his armor.
But just look how fast Toxic can get away. He's not locked in a bad spot. He just flies around there. And those ground rockets aren't going to be able to hit him as consistently when he's got that Slash mobility, because he's so fast.
It also does mean that you have to have just like straight up incredible reactions to play someone like Slash, who just moves at that speed. You need to be able to react to what's going on around you immediately.
Well, Toxic spent many years being the best at Quake 4 with that level of speed, so it's going to be something he's more than ready with.
Oh, a little bit of damage for damage, but quite a chunk coming out.
Even though that only did 2 damage, it did tell him that Agent was there. Sometimes it's not all about damage, it's just about awareness.
Small victories can make all the difference, especially in what it can effectively impact before. Agent now, though, manages to get himself a little bit here. Oh, this is a rail, that's unfortunate.
Slash still has got that small hitbox, and she's got a little bit more health. She's got the same speed. She's still going to be hard to hit, just like the rest of them.
Already, though, 3 minutes into this round, we know there hasn't been any frags yet. I think it really speaks volumes for how much more careful these players are wanting to be.
And Agent needs to do less work, too. He has to get that 1 round. I mean, I know it's always going to be work, because your opponent's going to be Toxic, and on the flip side, Toxic's opponent is Agent. We cannot forget this. These are 2 of the absolute cream of the crop in EU.
Oh, rocket doesn't quite land on its mark. But Toxic here is able to permanently be a little bit healthier, though. Value's really going to shine through.
Instead of going for Mega immediately, he almost tried to catch Agent on the bridge before he jumped down to Heavy, but although the read was good, he just wasn't there in time, I don't think.
Well, you have to keep in mind that when you pick up power-ups, it does make quite a loud noise. So, right, if they are waiting, and we've already seen that today, you know, they wait to listen out. They listen for what pickups you've gone for.
Hang on, here comes Slash. He knows Agent doesn't have a lot of health. The only thing he can possibly take down there is 1 bit of armor. Toxic wasn't quite able to chase it down.
Well, here we are, a few seconds away from our 1 minute warning. Oh, hang on a minute, is that going to be it? No, the Ghost Walk shines through and Agent is alive thanks to it. And that really is the power of Nyx. You can get tagged by a rail at a guaranteed death situation. But pop it, and Toxic with the aggression. Oh, but he missed 2 health remaining.
They're both weak.
Wow.
They are both weak. Toxic, all he needed was 1 more spec of LG, but unfortunately, still letting Agent survive. And with this 1 minute warning on deck, whoever gets this frag now, it will just be a pivotal decision.
Oh, that is tragic for Toxic. He could be one champion up this time, but Agent is able to survive. Agent manages to sneak away.
Oh, the missed rail! Very surprised to see Agent miss that one.
Also, vice versa. Agent was in the air from a jump pad. Usually quite a guaranteed situation to tag the rail, but Toxic wasn't quite able to hit it. But again, Toxic has a commanding lead in HP.
But it's that crouch slide. It means that normally when you're peppering those rockets down on the ground, Slash can just get in and out between those corridors, and it's very hard to pin it down.
Is it just me, or did that rocket just feel like it phased through the spectator cam?
I think that was very close. That was inches away. Here comes Toxic, forcing out the Ghost Walk. We're in sudden death, but at this stage, it doesn't matter. It's going to be one champion down regardless.
This is like ultimate hit and run. Toxic is desperate to just force these fights, get right in Agent's face, but Agent is not having any of it, popping that Ghost Walk straight away without hesitation.
I feel like this is when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Like, Toxic is being so aggressive, but Agent is just staying true. The way he is handling how fast Toxic is trying to make Agent play, Agent has the capability to keep up with that speed.
Oh, a chunk of damage from behind. Toxic knows he's hit it.
There's that big jump, heading him off, catches him. Oh, the rail! Misses ever so slightly. It's going to force
this really is the danger when you miss these rails like that.
It's Toxic. I think he's going to beat Agent to the heavy.
Perhaps. No, he's not going for it. I mean, it's not up for another 5 seconds, but
I think that's why neither went.
When you have this situation where you hit that rail and manage to get away on a little bit of life, missing those rails in between means that they are going to be more stacked when you eventually do get to fight them.
Missed the rail ever so slightly. Both players missing these rails, but Toxic heavily stacked over Agent. Really nice prediction rocket. That might be everything he needed. Caught him on the jump pad as well. Here comes Agent, and he does manage to get Toxic. After all those instances where Agent was on a slither of life, he was able to stay alive and get the round anyway. Right, and now he's on match point.
Right, guys, remember at home, going into this final map, we had to do a restart. Agent is up 2 rounds right now, so this is 2-0, not the 1-0 we see here. We have 1 more left to go, potentially for Agent to win this. Toxic needs to get 3 rounds straight to keep himself in the winner's bracket.
Toxic's gone for a last-minute swap. He's going in for Nyx first instead of Slash, trying to fight fire with fire.
The final round to make a decision, though. If you're going to make that kind of change, it has to be now. I mean, will it work?
If you don't do it and you lose anyway, you might just regret it. Toxic going in, gets Agent.
Now that's the perfect start for Toxic. Immediately taking away that star champion that Agent has been doing so much work with. Catches him on a spawn, but Agent gets the frag with the slipgate, just like that. Wow.
Unfortunately, that first rocket that just didn't quite get the damage that he needed. If only he got it first. Agent might have gone down, but hasn't got time to think about it.
Toxic goes straight into Slash immediately. Not wasting any time this time.
Oh, if Toxic, hang on, that's a lot of damage on the LG. The Dire Orb keeping him safe, letting him get away unchallenged.
Oh, he's following him.
He is on 5 health. He is unbelievably weak right now, and Toxic needs to find him.
Oh, Agent escaping death twice immediately back to back.
I mean, that's what happened in round 1, right? Will it happen again?
Ooh! Did manage to bag 1 rocket though, but Toxic, 2 champions off the board. Now just Visor remaining, seemingly healthy. But Toxic has been on point with this LG this round.
Yeah, his LG, it's in many ways it's been better than his rail. It's been what's been keeping him in this match.
I mean, no better weapon to shred down life.
Just dodging on that super nail gun. Anything not just doing damage, just trying to sort of deny certain areas.
Oh, beautiful direct from the corner. Mega health is up though. Toxic's will pick that up. I assume Agent will get the heavy armor.
We definitely can't count out Agent here. Like, he has been on the back foot so many times.
Oh, Agent nowhere near actually.
It's just going to allow Toxic to seize the heavy, but it doesn't look to me like Toxic's particularly interested. He's actually staying here. He's going for the fight. Agent is in big trouble.
But is able to escape again.
I just think that heavy armor's gonna just make the gap and the divide of health so much larger. He's going in for the piercing sight, trying to find out where Toxic is.
I think it's been a bit of a mix of Toxic hasn't been quite as on point aiming-wise, but Agent has also been ridiculous at just escaping these fights, right? He always gets away on such little life. He's done so like 4 or 5 times in this round alone.
I don't know how he's able to so consistently get out of what should be certain death.
I think he's actually managing to give almost as good as he can get. The damage he's dishing out in return is always enough to make Toxic hesitate and not chase the kills too much.
They both miss again. The fight forward towards Mega. Toxic's going to seize it. The piercing sight's going to try and give him a little bit of a gauge on where he is, but Toxic still looking to fight this regardless. Minimal damage on the rocket as well. The rails miss as well.
2 minutes left to go though. Is Toxic going to play for the clock or is he going to go for the frag?
He absolutely can if he wants. With that advantage, 100 damage. Only needs one more
where's
hit.
he going to go? This is Visor. He doesn't quite have the mobility, but Toxic doesn't chase it again.
I think he's just happy to keep that stack. I mean, even if he's not fragging Agent, he's causing Agent to run away. It's risky for him to go for these big pickups, and he does manage to score another frag on Agent. So it's still going to be match point, but Toxic does get around on the board.
Toxic starting the comeback. He's climbing the mountain. This is how he begins, but he needs to keep this momentum going for 2 extra rounds. Agent is always going to have the advantage up until 1 more round, but Toxic, you know, we've seen him do it before. He needs to do it again. He needs to do it now.
He's got a wonderful start towards the...
Opts to start with Slash again, though, as well, even though he was able to, beat Agent's Nix in the mirror beforehand.
Nice LG. And a lot of self-damage on Agent. Even though he used the Ghost Walk, he did so much damage to himself on that point-blank rocket. I mean, Toxic needed to do anything. Clutch! Rail right at the last minute.
That was such a good shot from Toxic, and so crucial as well to get that Nix off the board straight away. Agent lost again. That could have been death. Ever so slightly missing.
It's that dire orb to reposition Agent safely. I mean, that would have been a disgusting rail.
I mean, that could have been 2 frags in 40 seconds. That would have been completely against the pace that we've seen these guys go for so far, but maybe that's what Toxic needs to do.
Even though he didn't score the frag, he's got the champion advantage. And Slash being as agile as she is.
Oh my goodness.
That rocket just, I think everyone felt that one.
It brushed past.
Oh.
Nice shot coming out from Toxic though. Agent managing to top himself up. A lot of damage coming out from the LG. Nice snap to rail.
I think Agent acknowledges he can fight this if he wants, but with 93 HP, he can tank more than 1 rail as well. Well, both of them can.
Not by much, but by enough.
Agent definitely close enough to beat him to the Mega. Toxic knows that.
Oh, he sees him down there. Went for the armor. Lost a lot of damage for it, but another missed rail is going to keep Agent alive again. Unfortunately, sort of going back to this sort of shades of round 1 again.
It almost kind of feels like he's 50-50 on them. Like, he's landing some really, really crucial ones, and in some ways, he's getting those last-minute frags from rails. But at the same time, he's not landing every single game-changing rail that he needs to land at this stage. There's another one, but it's going to be undone by that Mega. We're seeing just how pivotal the combination of long-range rocket into a rail just to give just a humongous combo of damage. There's no way. There's no way.
You just hear the plasma trailer note. Okay, well, I'm not catching up to that. That obviously using the dire orb. Oh, wow. That just undoes a lot of that armor progress he made. But as I can say that, as the heavy armor. Oh, but dire orb straight into a Toxic.
That was actually a really nice... before he went headfirst into Toxic, that was a really nice play where he was able to stay and keep that position while at the same time getting that heavy armor. He just so happened to be in front of a Toxic at the time. Hearing that armor get picked up gave him a really nice vision of where he is.
That was actually almost quite dangerous for Toxic to hang around there, because if he got the rail, he would have got the frag, but he himself didn't have enough health to take a rail.
If we actually observe Toxic, I'm actually kind of curious as to how many rails. He's only got 1 rail left. He has to make this one count.
But he can jump from the bridge if he wants to, but he's going to prioritize this mega health first.
Agent's not going to fight it. Doesn't want to even risk getting caught out here. But you know, Toxic's next call to action, he's going to have to get that extra rail.
Hasn't quite gone for it yet.
I think Agent at this stage might have caught sight of that. So if he catches Toxic, if he gets that read, if he ambushes him.
No, he hasn't seen him. Toxic has a good movement to go in for it now if he wants to, but choosing not to. Really trying to control the mega health, I think. Oh yeah, he's waiting for him. Trying to lay that ambush, but unfortunately wasn't able to stop Agent from getting it.
Another good catch, and he did make it count, and importantly, during that sequence, was able to replenish some of that rail. 20 seconds away from a 1-minute warning. Toxic, nice and healthy, has the champion advantage, needs this round. Gets hit by another rail.
It's actually really good for Toxic to get this damage down though on Agent, because he's forcing Agent to spend time topping himself back up again instead of actually chasing down the frag to try and even things out. If Toxic's able to take this round, he's going to even things out to 2 rounds apiece. Let's not forget, we might not see it on the actual spectator, but Agent is actually up a round at this point. We had to restart this final map, and Agent went into this final map with a 1-round advantage, and then took the round we see now.
Agent's got a lot of armor though. If he just so happens to catch Toxic between a rock and a hard place with that rocket, he can totally seize this, and it looks like he might be getting it.
Between a rocket and a hard place. Oh, he goes on the jump pad. Has he got the follow-up shot? Not quite close enough.
He follows through. He has to, but Toxic with the mid-air.
I think at this point, that's almost going to be guaranteed round by itself. Toxic has that advantage. Slash, very good champion for getting away and running away. 30 seconds left to go, and Agent needs to make it work.
Well, Visor's got piercing sight, but really, even if he knows where Slash is, what can Visor do to keep up with Slash? She's too fast.
Is Toxic going to just drag this map back in his favor? One round apiece.
I mean, he's got the piercing sight. He knows where Toxic is. Goes in for the rocket jump because he has no other mobility tools. But with 7 seconds on the clock, he not only has to get a frag here, but he needs to get the next champion, and it doesn't look possible. Toxic ties things up. We are down to our final round.
Wow, this is as close as it gets, and just our second series of the day. Toxic was down 2 rounds straight, but it's able to bring 2 back and tie things up 1 round away from moving to the World Championships at QuakeCon for both of these players now.
This is the most important round of Quake Champions of both of these players' lives, without a shadow of a doubt. Toxic goes back towards Slash, the classic Quake 4 god with the Quake 4 champion. An Agent with Nyx instead of Clutch now.
But the last 2 rounds, Agent has lost Nyx almost straight away, and that has been a serious detriment to him. Can he keep hold of this champion for a little bit longer this time? Can he get that first frag? Because this really seems to be a match of the first champions. Toxic Slash, by far his strongest so far. Agent Nyx, by far his strongest so far. And that's who they're starting with. They are putting this matchup immediately every round.
Even though he saw the plasma trail disappear, she could have been so far away at that stage. Here comes the LG. I think if Toxic is if he's confident in his ability to dodge those rockets using Slash's speed, and he's able to trail with the LG, that will be a fight that is always in his favor. It's just getting in and out. The second Agent manages to find Toxic. He's so far away, and he has gotten out of danger so quickly.
Actually,
Agent can't get a call.
It looks like the tables might have turned a bit now. It's Agent that's actually missing the majority of these clutch rails. He's going to make the difference, and Toxic is able to get away alive a lot of the time, and usually with a health advantage, even if Agent starts to get some shots. But ultimately, the rail just hasn't quite been in Agent's favor this map. I'm not quite sure. He just doesn't look anywhere near as confident.
Oh, Toxic was nervous at the beginning of this set, and you could see it. Is Agent nervous? And now everything is on the line.
I mean, Agent took the first map convincingly. It was the fastest map we'd seen all day, easily. Map number 2, Toxic barely won, was able to win 3 rounds to 2. Agent just commanded the start of this final map, but now Toxic has completely flipped things around.
They're going to trade heavy for Mega. But again, dodging the rockets, but doing so much damage with the LG. Nyx has lost any of her overstack.
Oh, that would have been such a good rocket. Misses another rail.
Toxic just being this bully from above.
Already 2 minutes into this final round, though. The clock is just ticking away.
Agent is doing a fantastic job of trying to stay out of trouble. He is just maneuvering around this map so quickly and controlling so many of these important pickups. But at the same time, Agent is not getting caught in a bad spot, a situation he cannot survive. They trade again.
Heavy armor on Nyx. We see how much damage Agent's taking in these sort of like trading situations. The armory is what's keeping him alive.
That's one rail. Meeting him head off with the plasma trail. Beats him towards rail.
I like that last minute decision not to commit to that route though, because Agent was already shooting rockets there and Toxic had a hunch.
It's all about game sense, experience, and it shows with some of the world's best players, 2 of which we have right now. They both played a few Quake games in their time. Agent, even though he was in a bad spot, as he consistently collects this heavy armor, he will be able to survive these long distance rails. And at the end of the day, you can take 1 rail, but you can't take 2 if you're playing as Nyx.
Agent, though, see them being so careful. Agent not taking the shot immediately. 40 damage on the rocket. Gets a follow-up rail if he can get this last one. Oh, he does! Max range rail. Agent is able to take the first frag, and now Toxic is in a bad situation.
We spent so long of this round with Toxic being the one in the driver's seat, but Agent was just staying so hard to find, so hard to pin down. But with 1.5 minutes left, now Agent, he can play defensive. Oh! The missed rail, but Agent doesn't miss his. They miss back to back. Oh, the invisibility! He's gonna ambush. doesn't follow through that teleporter. That would have been a humongous risk, and he doesn't take it.
I mean, that would have been all or nothing. If Agent chased and got the frag, that would have been almost guaranteed round, but he could easily have died himself there with the little amount of health he had remaining. Toxic now has 1 minute left to try and get this frag on Agent's Nyx. If he does not, he's going to lose on Champions.
Gets 1 rail. Machine Gun gets 2! Agent, so weak, but Toxic needs to chase.
Has he got the Ghost Walk left? The armor's up. He has the Ghost Walk. He has to make this read. Where is she gone? He's chasing her. Oh no, she came back out and he gets the frag!
The read was successful. They now have 1 champion down each. Nyx versus Ranger. We are on the verge of sudden death. This is an absolutely pivotal round for both players.
Toxic was able to keep his Ghost Walk in that situation as well, so he is going to have it now. We are 20 seconds away from overtime. This could be next frag takes this series. After such a long-fought battle for both of these guys, it could come down to just 1 frag remaining.
But really, Nyx, she has that lifeline.
Oh, that rocket damage almost did quite enough. He's chased it down and he gets it!
Agent manages to get the last-minute rail. He sees the rocket. There is nothing Toxic can do. And because of that, I mean, what a hard-fought battle from both sides.
Wow, I mean, what else can you say? That was just a final frag, and Agent, after just a whole map of caution and just being as careful as possible not to overcommit. Agent, I mean, if he wanted into a rocket, if he wanted into an LG, in a situation, he would have died there. But he made that final brave decision to just chase down. And that was able to be enough for Toxic after fighting so hard to bring back that final map after completely odds stacked against him. Just fell at the absolute final hurdle.
Well, I mean, this was winner's bracket action. Toxic remains in this tournament. Toxic still has a great chance to qualify for those finals. But